Now at 5, plans for a Fedex distribution center coming to Pittsburgh. Plus, Neosho Community College is using a grant to renovate its Innovation and Technology Center.
The Biden administration's national security advisor says a Russian invasion of Ukraine could come any day. I'm Natalie Brand with the high-stakes meeting at the White House between the U.S. and a key NATO ally.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Pittsburgh officially announces a new Fedex ground distribution center is coming to town. This is KOAM News at 5. Officials say construction is already underway. It'll be a 250,000 square foot facility west of Kansas Crossing Casino. It's expected to hire a mix of full-time and part-time employees. City officials say it'll be a big boost to Pittsburgh's economy.
It's a big part of our local economy. We've had a lot of tremendous growth in some of the smaller businesses. We're building houses, trying to get people into Pittsburgh, living in Pittsburgh. So to have an employer come in that's going to employ that many people, those high quality jobs, it's a big piece of the puzzle for us. And quite frankly, it's a piece that we haven't had for a while.
The new facility is expected to open in October. The Neosho County Community College in Chanute was one of several recent recipients of grant money from the USDA. The college received a grant for $745,000 to help with the renovation of an old facility in the Chanute Industrial Park. The facility is being converted into the Mitchell Career and Technology Center, which will offer new programs for high school and college students.
It'll bring up to 8 new programs to the area. On day 1, it'll have 6 programs located there. Aerostructures for building airplane parts. Industrial maintenance technology for installing equipment in factories, welding, construction, electrical, and HVAC.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about the grant and the project and how it will benefit Neosho County and the surrounding areas. Ascension Via Christi Cancer Center in Pittsburgh unveils its new look with an emphasis on private treatment rooms. Previously, the chemotherapy treatment center had an open floor concept. Now that's changed with 7 renovated private rooms. The Mount Carmel Foundation raised nearly $1 million for the remodeling. Hospital officials say the changing landscape of patient care is the reason for the overhaul.
The ideas came from our foundation. They felt like that the open arena was something that we needed to take a look at, so we brought our engineers in, took a look at what we can do with the space, and developed a design that would still allow for the nurses to have line of sight view of their patients while they're receiving the treatment, but also the privacy of having a private room.
In addition to the private chemo treatment rooms, the renovations include upgrades to the waiting area and family resource room. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
And the melt continues down. Plenty of sunshine back in action today, and temperatures back above normal. Looking good at 5:03 from our east vantage point of a 7th and range line, the east side of Joplin, that is. We just had off and on partly to mostly sunny skies all day long. Nothing underneath the clouds, and the big surface setup across the lower 48 shows not a whole lot happening. We do have a warm front skirting through to the north, and a developing cold front that will come into play a couple days down the road. But in the short term, we're looking pretty good as we get this Monday evening underway. Most of us are sitting in the mid-40s on the Missouri side, but mid-40s to still some spots near 50 in our corners of Kansas and Oklahoma. But eventually, everybody actually will get a south breeze back in place throughout the course of the evening. That means we'll go from the 40s at 6 down to the mid-30s by midnight. I think we'll drop back mainly lower 30s across much of the area for tonight. Dow, we'll see how the rest of the week's shaping up here in a bit.
See you then. The U.S. COVID-19 death toll has now passed another grim milestone. More than 900,000 people have died since the start of the pandemic. Congress is holding a moment of silence this evening to mark the somber occasion. The CDC says COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations are dropping nationwide, but daily deaths have jumped nearly 30% in the last 2 weeks. Ukraine-Russia tensions were at the top of the agenda when President Biden hosted the new German chancellor for his first White House visit. The U.S. and its allies continue to call on Russia to choose diplomacy while warning of severe consequences should it invade Ukraine. Reporter Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
President Biden and Germany's new Chancellor Olaf Scholz stressed a united response in addressing the standoff at the Russia-Ukraine border.
Today, the Chancellor and I discussed our close cooperation and developed a strong package of sanctions that are going to clearly demonstrate international resolve and impose swift and severe consequences if Russia violates Ukraine's sovereignty.
Another key topic, the Nord Stream 2 pipeline to transport natural gas from Russia directly to Germany.
The notion that Nord Stream 2 would go forward with an invasion by the Russians is just not going to happen.
After meeting with his EU counterpart, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said they are working to protect Europe from any disruptions.
We're talking with governments and major producers around the world about surging their production and distribution capacity.
Biden administration officials still don't believe Russian President Vladimir Putin has made a decision, but they say it's clear he's put the pieces in place to act quickly if he does decide to invade Ukraine. Satellite images show Russian troops in Belarus are now just 30 miles away from Ukraine's border, with military exercises there expected to begin later this week. Meanwhile, more planes carrying U.S. troops landed in Poland Monday morning as the U.S. tries to bolster NATO allies in Eastern Europe. French President Emmanuel Macron met with Putin Monday in hopes of de-escalating tensions, saying the continent is at a critical crossroads. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Today, the United Kingdom announced it'll send 350 additional British troops to Poland to help strengthen its border with Belarus. Queen Elizabeth marked 70 years on the throne yesterday. Celebrations for the Platinum Jubilee will continue through the summer. Kicked off in London with that 41-gun salute. The 95-year-old Queen used the anniversary to cement the future of the monarchy, saying when her son Prince Charles becomes king, his second wife, Camilla, should take the title of Queen Consort. Still ahead, spending more for love.
This Valentine's Day, the price of flowers is growing. I'm Laura Podesta with the reasons behind the surge and how you can save.
And next in Health Watch, a large-scale study confirms the safety of COVID vaccines for cancer patients. Topping today's Health Watch, the largest study to date confirms the COVID vaccine is safe for people being treated for cancer or who have finished cancer treatment. Reporter Stephanie Stahl has details.
Dan Burkus has been receiving treatment for prostate cancer while trying to avoid COVID-19.
What has it been like dealing with COVID and a pandemic and also being a cancer patient?
Well, if you have cancer, you have a compromised immune system. So I was very happy to get the vaccine.
Some cancer patients have had concerns about possible reactions to the vaccine, especially while having treatment including chemotherapy, radiation, and immunotherapy. Now, the largest study to date is providing even more reassurance.
What the study showed was, in fact, cancer patients are no different than non-cancer patients in how they react to these vaccines, and that it absolutely is safe.
Dr. Eric Horowitz at Fox Chase Cancer Center is the lead author of the research that looked at more than 1,700 people who received the Pfizer vaccine. People undergoing active cancer treatment or who had completed treatment experienced common short-term side effects such as pain at the injection site, fever, headache, and fatigue at similar rates as those without cancer.
People who got all different therapies and everyone did well. So if you need even extra information to help in your decision to be vaccinated, hopefully this will help.
Dan got a COVID booster in September.
In addition to the vaccine, we practice the measures of masking in public places. We do keep our social bubble, so to speak, relatively small.
He's been in a clinical trial for the past 2 years, and right now his cancer is undetectable. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
About 18% of patients receiving the vaccine in the study were undergoing active treatment. Children who have positive interactions with their mothers are less likely to become obese later in life. A study in Pediatrics finds when children ages 4 and younger receive warmth and positive parenting from their mothers, it improves their ability to self-regulate their behavior. The findings suggest positive parenting, even at infancy, can have long-term effects. And women who develop diabetes while pregnant are at a greater risk for heart problems later in life. A study for the Society for Maternal Fetal Medicine shows gestational diabetes can cause far more cardiovascular problems than previously thought. The risk for heart attack and stroke increase as patients get older. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the IRS is extending its days of operation to help this tax season.
Plus, even though it's nice already to keep quiet for this evening and much of this week, there are still a few things in the forecast I'm keeping an eye on. We'll break it down next. It was nice that we allowed the melt to continue today with plenty of sunshine and temperatures trying to push near 50 degrees for some of you. So you can't deny the day has been looking pretty good. Still does with our live shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri. That's how the entire area looked. And it's skies like that allowed us to rebound after we actually dropped quite a bit this morning. After we topped out in the lower to middle 40s yesterday afternoon, we dropped back near 20 at least at Joplin Regional this morning at about the 7 o'clock hour. And then we just catapulted into the upper 40s this afternoon. Those are the kind of numbers that will stick around while we continue to stay dry for much of this week. And keep in mind, we should be in the mid 40s for normal highs for the stretch of February, but numbers 40s, 50s, even maybe a 60-degree reading in the forecast, certainly above normal. But I am watching a weak wave that will come our way this weekend. While it could while it could possibly, there we go, give us a few snow showers on Saturday. Its main job is to bring a quick cold snap as we get into our Saturday. We'll break that down as we go along here, but first, another live shot for you, this time from 7th and Range Line. 47 and sunny in Joplin and at the airport too. Southwest wind at 14. Doesn't give us a wind chill yet, but it's the southwest wind. That means we're not going to turn so cold as we go throughout the course of the evening. But we're already starting to drop off quite a bit. Lower 40s popping up around Stockton Lake, mid 40s along the I-49 corridor, then upper 40s to even some lower, maybe mid 50s for parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, our corners of the states at least. But it's all because of the clear skies throughout the day and mainly a southwest wind kicking back into gear as we go through the rest of the evening. That means we're going to have a slow drop off through the 40s, down into the 30s, and I'm thinking upper 20s to lower 30s for tonight while we keep things quiet on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Quick look at the surface setup. Here's a warm front passing just to the north. That's also bringing that south wind back into play. Here's a cold front developing. Doesn't look impressive yet, but that's a front that'll come our way by Thursday. But in the upper levels, it's all about this upper level ridge. Even though it's centered out in the desert southwest, it's doing its job, pushing the jet stream back on top of us. And that certainly resulted in the good stretch of above normal temperatures. Let me show you what I mean here as we go through the future now. Here's 11 o'clock going into tonight, upper 30s to near 40. Make that mid 30s, pardon me. And then we'll drop back into the lower 30s with mostly clear skies to start your Tuesday out. We'll hang on to the sunshine, and with that southwest wind really kicking into gear, I would not be surprised if some spots hit 60 degrees at the very least going into tomorrow. But around the Joplin area, let's say 31 in the morning, 52 by noon, and a high of 58. I think that's certainly doable with that south and southwest wind at 10, even up to 20 miles per hour. Keeping quiet to start Tuesday evening out, maybe a little cloud cover Wednesday morning, but partly to mostly sunny skies, back into the upper 50s for your Wednesday. Then that front developing to the northwest with a returning jet comes in on Thursday. That knocks us back into the 40s. But here's that quick look at Saturday. A weak front tries to bring a few snow showers our way, but its main job, you can see how that jet stream sinks back to the south. That is the only fly in the ointment in terms of our weekend forecast. 58 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, 48 Thursday, 62. Mild to start this coming weekend. Then we'll drop into the 30s all day Saturday down, but then right back into the 40s and 50s Sunday and Monday.
Quite a change from Friday into Saturday instead.
Yeah, and not only that, completely calm for this week.
It'd be nice. Thanks, Nick. Last week's winter storm caused issues for everyone, really, including blood banks. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks, which supplies 44 area healthcare facilities, says more than 500 blood donations were lost because of cancellations. There's already a nationwide blood shortage, so these donations are crucial. Officials are asking everyone who can to donate. Coming up, why you might have to spend more this Valentine's Day. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Joseph Meade served in the U.S. Army in 1946 and 1947. Pittsburgh native was stationed in Korea, and we salute Joseph Meade, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the IRS wants to help with your taxes even on Saturdays. The agency will offer walk-in help at 35 tax assistance centers across the country. But there are only 4 Saturdays available, starting this Saturday, February 12th. The agency said it's part of a larger effort to help taxpayers this filing season. Keep in mind, it's already facing a huge backlog of unprocessed returns because of the pandemic. The 2 biggest pharmacy chains in the U.S. are removing limits on how many over-the-counter COVID-19 rapid tests people can buy. Now, previously, CVS limited customers to 6 amid a shortage of tests as the Omicron variant raged, and Walgreens had capped people at 4, whether buying in-store or online. Well, now customers can buy as many tests as they like. Get ready to spend more money on that special someone this Valentine's Day. Reporter Laura Podesta explains what's pushing up prices.
Bonchet Jagla creates unique bouquets for people in the New York City area. Prices for roses and other flowers usually go up before Valentine's Day, but this year there could be some sticker shock.
If you could ballpark how much they cost last year compared to this year?
About 20% more.
She blames the pandemic for shutting down some flower producers and causing a supply squeeze.
Right now, a lot of farms that we use for flowers, they're out of business.
They're out of business.
The flowers she can find cost more because shipping prices are soaring.
The price went up higher, the freights as well.
People are buying Valentine gifts and they want heart-shaped boxes.
At Lilac Chocolates, co-owner Anthony Cerrone says he's experiencing similar problems with packaging.
The Valentine boxes, we got hit with 50% increase, and when we asked why, we were told it was 100% due to container ship pricing, transportation costs.
He's been forced to raise prices on some items. This box of truffles is $60. Last year, it sold for $48. And it's not just candy and flowers. Prices for jewelry and eating out are also higher this year. But that's not slowing spending. The National Retail Federation predicts the average American will shell out $175 for Valentine's Day.
And we could see total spending reach almost $24 billion, which would be the second highest in our survey's history.
Experts suggest shopping early to get the best prices.
I recommend them to order ahead of time.
Bonchet says call ahead and work with a local florist. They can help pick a bouquet with a price tag that won't make your heart skip a beat. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
The National Retail Federation says nearly a third of Americans plan to celebrate with an evening out this year. Almost a quarter, 22%, will opt to give jewelry to a special someone. From the best to the worst, the Wall Street Journal is out with a new ranking of U.S. airlines. Delta Airlines nabbed the #1 spot, followed by Alaska Airlines and Southwest, but it's a free-for-all when flying while frugal. Delays and passengers stuck on the tarmac landed JetBlue at the bottom of the list. Spirit and Frontier came close to the bottom as well. Now they have their merger on the horizon. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, changes to school mask policies across the country. And then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear more about plans to renovate a Neosho County Community College facility. Plus, Joplin Habitat for Humanity asked for donations of supplies and furniture. And several area high school student athletes commit to continue their careers at the collegiate level. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Pretty nice weather to start the work week.
Yeah, and this time around it's going to stay pretty calm throughout much of this week. No big winter storms on the horizon, unlike what we had to deal with last week. As far as temperatures go, above normal, and we'll certainly take it. 58 for tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, a little dip into the upper 40s on Thursday, but then back into the lower 60s to start this coming weekend now. Then sticking with Doug's pattern, I want to watch a weak wave that'll come our way. Mainly, it'll drop us back into the 30s for Saturday, but right back to 46 on Sunday and 59 for Valentine's Day. Fastly approaching.
Yeah, not bad overall for a full week in February.
Especially after what we dealt with last week.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.